Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. We are currently on the test server, guys. We're gonna have a look at another mythical champion. I do want to take them all for a spin and see what exactly they can do. This time around, we're actually gonna have a look at the dwarf. Now, he seems pretty interesting. He definitely has a very solid kit and I want to try it out. Like, he has some very crazy passives. One of them is something that I've been trying to do in the game for such a long time with champions like Bogwalker, for example, and his passive, but of course reflect damage doesn't work as good. But Frolni The Mechanist is meant to do a much better job. Probably you've noticed we don't have the camera on today, guys. I have some issues with it, so hopefully I get that sorted by tomorrow. Let's quickly go over the kit. So this is an HP defense-based champion. So whenever you're changing Metamorph, he's changing his main stats as well. Now the defense build, guys, I don't think is meant to do damage. I haven't personally tried it for damage, but just the skills are not really attacking much, you know, so I think it's gonna be pointless to try him for damage. But we're gonna keep the same one build, right? So with A1 on the defense, Metamorph attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit increases the champion's defense by 5%, stacking up to 100. With the A2, attacks an enemy, heals the champion by 50% of their max HP, and of course equalizes the HP on all allies, taking it to the highest HP. The A3 places an ally protection buff on all allies except this champion, places an unkillable buff on this champion for 2 turns, and of course places a shield on all allies, and is based on his own defense basically. But they need to be with less than 50% HP. This is the Metamorph, and the passive, when attacked, reflects 80% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker. That's the fun part right here. Debuffs placed on this champion decrease their producer's accuracy by 10%, stacking up to 50%. Of course, you have a HP aura, a 35% HP. Pretty nice, actually. And this is going to be one of the very first champions in the game that will be able to increase his own HP. So with the A1, attacks one enemy, will ignore 5% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. The more buffs, the more damage he should be doing, basically. And this right here is a pure nuker kit all around. Now, I don't think the multipliers are that amazing, because how you can see on the screen, guys, the A1 has a 0.18 HP. The A2 has a 0.24. Magnar, with a double hit, which is an epic champion, has a 0.22, so pretty much the same thing, and is a double hit, and that's Magnar, okay, an epic champion, I repeat. Then the A3, Exterminate the Weak, is a 0.28 HP. So his multipliers are nothing too spectacular. Let me just be honest and put it out there for you guys to understand that. With the A2, attacks one enemy, steals 2 buffs from a target enemy. This effect cannot be resisted, so you don't need accuracy for this. If this attack is critical, repeats the attack once, which most likely it will happen if you're not hitting on reaction or weak hits, for example, so that's pretty cool. Then we have the A3, attacks all enemies. Damage of this skill increases by 30% if this champion's max HP is higher than each target's max HP, so it's conditional for each target on the board to have a lower HP than him. This makes this champion very weak for PvE with this skill, because all the PvE waves have 300, 400, 500k HP, which is so much higher than you could ever achieve on a champion, okay? It's just nuts. So this makes him pretty weak. And even for PvP, most of the champions like Duchess, Necret, Marichka, Staras, and other champions like this are more likely to have a higher HP than him. So this skill will not actually really get to use that 30% extra damage, unless, of course, you're attacking weak speed teams, where it's kind of like guaranteed that you're gonna have a higher HP. So not very impressed all around with that. Then the passive, which is so crazy. This champion's crit damage is increased by 1% for every 1000 HP they have, guys. So on our build, we have over 100k HP. We're basically gonna get an extra 100 plus crit damage. And how I mentioned, one of the very first champions to increase their own HP increases this champion's max HP by 20%, stacks up to 100%, and speed by 20 stacking up to 100 whenever this champion kills an enemy. Resets each round. Sounds very, very interesting, right? Like, it sounds like he could be super, super powerful. And of course, you have the same aura. Let me just quickly show you the build. So there he is. I actually removed the gear from my Taras, gave it to him, and total stats, we have 101k HP, 3.6k defense, 234 speed, 100 crit rate, and with the passive, we're actually gonna have 394 crit damage, guys, which is absolutely crazy. You don't need accuracy on him, which is good. Masteries, we actually have offense and defense, Helm Smasher as tier 6, and we have Retribution to drop in a cheeky counter attack every now and then. Let's test the damage, see the animations, and then we're gonna take him in for a spin in Arena. So as usual, we're gonna test them on stage 23. We're gonna use his aura because why not? We're not able to increase his stats with an increased attack or anything like that, like we would normally do with other champions. So let's go in like this. Put defense down, weaken. Okay, we managed to land it on everyone. And let's start with the AoE skill, guys. Let's see the damage and the animation from here. These waves probably have like 300, 400k HP. So this skill is never really going to be effective against them, you know. There you go. 145k. That was one of the biggest numbers I've noticed on the screen. Maybe you guys saw some bigger numbers on the left side, but I haven't paid attention on that side. Not very impressive. Like, you're not one-shotting anyone. If I bring Taras in here with that, with this gear, my god, he's gonna delete everybody twice with the damage, you know, like, it's such a big difference. And yeah, he doesn't perform well. Comparing him with other nukers like attack-based nukers, Leorius, Georgie, Baron, I don't know, Foley, Trandas, champions like this, they all basically out-damage him, you know. And very likely, if I'm bringing in as well Magnar, he's going to out-damage him just for the simple fact that Magnar has a double hit. And Magnar is an epic champion, okay? Just to kind of like emphasize the whole point that he is an epic champion. Let's actually use the A2 and let's use the A1 as well if we can on the same thing. So A2, we're stealing basically buffs and we're gonna get a double hit. So let's see the first numbers. 138k. So we would expect to basically hit for around 250k with both of the double hits. Now, if you're thinking about champions like Alika, Dirandil, even a Faceless, for example, if we're bringing them in here with similar sort of stats, but of course attack-based, they will hit for approximately 300, 400, 450k with a single hit skill, which makes a massive, massive difference, right? And let's quickly check the A1 as well once we're gonna get to it. The A1 will hit harder the more buffs we have on the champion, right? So let's 154k. So if you have 3, 4, 5 buffs on the champion, the A1 will actually hit harder. So he could potentially be one of those champions that smacks around with the A1. If you're getting locked with a Warlord, a Yumeko, etc., and you decide not to change Metamorph, he can be the champion that smacks around with A1, like Candrophone, Rotos, or other champions like Phanex. Let's take him in for a spin in Arena. So right here, guys, we actually have quite a few different teams. I'm very curious to see what sort of damage he's actually going to drop. If we're gonna attack the Farpstuff team right here, I know he's a pretty tanky team, and you know what? We're gonna go in a bit different. I'm actually going to bring in a reset champion instead, just to basically give him a better chance at nuking. You know, come in twice and basically drop the nuke. Very curious to see if he's actually going to be able to one-shot anyone. So right now, it's very likely for us to hit reaction on some of them. We're not going to hit reaction, for example, on that Mitrala, so we're going to go and try to hit her. We're going to steal the buffs because we don't need to have any accuracy. 1 hit and 2. So unfortunately, we haven't managed to one-shot a Mitrala. I do find that a bit, like, usually Mitralas are not extremely tanky because they have high accuracy, high resistance, they're fast, and I don't think that is great if we're not able to one-shot a champion like Mitrala, you know. But let's actually go and give it another go in a second here. Let's put more buffs because we're going to be able to use that A1 in a second. Actually, no, we're going to have to go with the AoE because Duchess still has that stone skin. Unless we strip it or not. But we can go with the A1 on the Ursaga. So let's see. How many buffs we have? 7 buffs. So we ignore a lot of defense, right? 71k. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. And now we're going to go in with the AoE once we're going to be ready. But let's first go with the A1 in there. Okay. Actually, let's do it again against Duchess. Let's see. Oh, wow. Is that it? 27k against Duchess. And Ursaga was dead. So you cannot say that Skratch, he didn't hit hard because Ursaga was alive and her passive mitigated the damage. That is actually really underwhelming. My god, Plarium really made all these mythical champions dirty when we are talking about multipliers. But you know what? I do have different hopes for this champion, and we're gonna try that in just a second. Let's use the AoE. Can we kill that Candraphone with an AoE? Hopefully we're not gonna weak hit though. Yeah, okay, we got him. 41k, we got him down. And yes, here we are. We managed to kill the team. I feel like the damage felt pretty weak sauce. Especially when I hit that Duchess, okay? That really felt a bit, wow, is that it? But that's fine. We're going to try another team, guys. We're going to try another team because, you know what? We want to see if he can actually put in some better work, you know? And then we're going to attack this team too. So, there we go. Knob raids. Let's see if we can kill his dwarf, for example. Can our dwarf kill his dwarf, basically, you know? We don't need to buff. Let's just sleep his... actually, that was faster. That's fine. We don't need buffs anyway. Okay. And right now, let's do it. Let's see. Okay, we kill him. So 29k and 61k. Not too bad, actually. Not too bad. But that was on the dwarf. Usually, HP-based champions, they're not going to have the highest defense when you're attacking them, you know? Okay. So let's go AoE. Can we put that Uko to sleep? Ukos are very squishy usually, guys. You know the drill. They're fast, stun sets, accuracy, 60, 70k HP, 3+k defense. If we're not shotting that Uko, I'm going to quit my job. And that's it. Skratch is out of here. He's quitting the job right now. Okay. We didn't got her down, which is a bit disappointing though. You see, Kaimar actually killed him because this is my... This is the Fire Knight Kaimar. And there we go. 56k, we steal the buffs. I like that you steal the buffs, but of course that's pretty nasty. That can get you polymorphed. Now, I do want to try a different thing all around, guys. And that's his second Metamorph. I do think he does have the potential to be pretty interesting with the kit that he has right here. With this passive. But the damage, the multipliers are underwhelming. And I don't think he's gonna be that great to bring in just damage. I do think, on the other hand, that his other build is actually going to be more beneficial. So let's actually try to find a team. For example, we don't want Rotos. This team right here, odd one test. So we're gonna play it a bit differently. We're gonna go in with 2 champions only, okay? And it's not because I'm trying to flex anything or something like that. I just wanna have a few extra champions in here. Let's go like that, actually. So we're gonna change the Metamorph. I always wanted to make a thing where I'm putting the reflect damage, and especially with Tranda when she used to be meta, that's when I had this idea. Bogwalker will actually put the reflect damage with the first hit because of his passive, and the second hit will kill Tranda, then they will try to revive, I will have Torment to freeze them, etc. But of course, it never really happened. Now this passive is saying that it's going to reflect 80% of the damage this champion receives. So we're going to put Unkillable, put the ally protection on the team, and we're going to put it in slow-mo, and let's actually see what damage will that Tranda do. Okay, Tranda, come on, baby. Okay, so she's stunned with the first hit. It felt like, I don't know if 80% of the damage went back. I really don't think so. I really don't think so, because if you're looking at his HP, look how much HP he dropped, and look at how much HP Tranda dropped. It almost feels like 20% of the damage goes back rather than the 80% of the damage, you know? So that's a bit odd. I do have to test this a bit more to ensure that we are right and we're not talking nonsense on this. But she's about to use the A2, so let's see. Is she gonna kill herself or no? No, because she used the A2 on somebody else. The good part is that now we can equalize the HP again. I'm not 100% sure, but from what I've noticed, if you have 0 HP on the champion, he's basically getting no damage. So if he has unkillable and 0 HP, when somebody attacks him, there is no damage to go back to the attacker. So you constantly need to be on full HP if you want his passive to actually make sense. And again, that's not that impressive. It's pretty unlikely that you're gonna get to heal in most of the fights, you know? So I don't know what to say about it. Guess we're gonna have to check it out a bit more and see what's happening. Come on, Tranda. Stop being weak sauce. Do some work. Do some work. That stun there was unfortunate though. So I'm gonna leave her to have that increased attack. Let's see. She gonna go for my Arbiter or she's gonna go for him? Okay, she's going for the Arbiter. That's fine. Okay, let's do this. Unkillable again. Let's sleep Elva. We cannot actually UDK. Forgot about him. Tranda, do you have the AoE available, please? Do it. Come on. Put in some work, Tranda. And don't stun us this time around. Okay, you don't. My god. Is it that hard? Is it that hard to have this nuker to use her freaking skill? She should have it now, though. She should have it now. Hopefully. Tranda, I believe in you. We're not even gonna buff. We're not even gonna buff because we want her to deal as much damage as possible. Okay. Tranda, now is your moment. Again, how long is the cooldown? 20 turns? Is that an unbooked Tranda? Odd One Gaming? What is that? We gotta back out. We gotta find a more serious opponent. I am disappointed by my Romanian brother. I'm disappointed. Let's see. What else we have in here? This is the not cold brew team. Okay. Okay, this could be actually interesting. This could be interesting. Or even this one could be interesting. I'm not sure how fast he is though. You know what? Let's go against this. Let's go against this. We want to make sure we are super fast. We're bringing in a lot of turn meters. So let's see what else we can do to get in more turn meter. Hopefully we can like this. Because that Taras is going to use the AoE, you know? Okay. I just want to change Metamorph. Okay, quick. Nice. And let's check that Taras. Now, finally, an opponent worthy. Okay, let's see the passive. Let's see the passive and the damage. Come on. Taras. What? He barely took any damage. Okay, I'm going to forget about it. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to be able to build that thing that I had in mind 2 years ago, even with this champion, unfortunately. I know he had some shield, man, but seriously, like, it barely reflected any damage back onto him. It almost seems like the passives, the masteries, and everything else are actually reducing even the damage that gets reflected back, or something like that. I don't know, but something seems to create a massive damage reduction. Crazy. So, even if you might think that the ally protection on different allies are reflecting the damage to him, so then he could reflect damage with a passive on the attacker that uses an AoE skill against your team, you've seen it felt pretty underwhelming, actually. It felt pretty underwhelming. So, I'm not sure how to feel about this champion. I really had much higher hopes for him and this amazing passive on paper. The other passive as well from the other Metamorph and everything that he had in the kit sounded so interesting, and I really thought that he will be putting in some serious work. But Plarium really made dirty all the mythical champions when we are talking about multipliers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. I'm going to end it here. I'm not going to test the champion on PvE because there aren't many places where I would use him. Yes, you can use him for the ally protection to get carried on some waves, maybe even in Hydra if you really need to, but he's not the #1 option. Appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.